Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel for another great day of track and field. We're continuing our what is a fabulous week for the sport. Thanks for joining me for this watch along for the Atlanta City Games. They're live in Piedmont Park. For some of you may have watched the earlier stream. It was happening on the Adidas stream, at least here in the United States. We have to watch it on NBC or on their Peacock platform. Lots of interesting stars. We can go through a couple of the results that already happened. I always like this kind of setup for track and field where you end up putting meets in a park in city centers. That's the way to grow the sport, I think, for the casual observer. It's an Adidas run meet. A lot of their top stars are there. Noah Lyles was initially listed to run, but apparently he's injured. So hopefully he's okay. And but I'm looking forward to a number of events today, especially the women's 100-meter hurdles. Top stars there, world record holder Tia Jones is there. You name it. Kenny, former world record holder Kenny Harrison's also there as well. And importantly, too, I want to see what Favour OFILI can do over 150 meters. There's Trey Cunningham as well in the men's 110 hurdles to come up. He's been on fire lately. Great showing at the Grand Slam track recently. PB 13-second flat for him. He should get some competition as well from the likes of Freddie Crittenden. But, stick with me. We watch along. We'll break down what we see. And hopefully you're enjoying your Saturday or, wherever you are in the world. Thanks for joining me. So before they start the activity on the track, I think there's a number of things that will soon start coming up here. Let me just check a couple of results earlier. There was a fabulous race not too long ago that I caught on the stream with Zarnell Hughes there. Zarnell Hughes running a fabulous 1955 on a 200-meter stretch. Just a straight 200 meters. I'm trying to get that result again. It wasn't a legal run. It was above the allowable limit of, I think it was 2.2. But let me see if I can find it at some point, unless my producer can find it. He has the race up, sorry. So yeah, he was doing a good, what was that, 1955 there, ahead of Jerim Richards, the Trinidadian. Really good run from Zarnell. He kept pulling away. Looks like he's in great shape. It was a 200 on a straight, obviously, so it's no corners there. So you got to take that into consideration. But I like what they did here. They put a track in the middle of a park. I think these are the things track and field needs when it comes to that, to elevating the sport beyond people like you and me who tend to watch the sport really often. Yeah. So they have pole vault going on. There's long jump, all that kind of stuff. And so the first thing on the track here is gonna be a 200-meter hurdles, which is really interesting. And Alison DeSantis is here. I think he's probably in the United States all the time now. And we'll get to see what we get here from DeSantis. There's Sean Burrell as well. It's really interesting. 200-meter straight hurdles. Innovative. Sup all in the game. Curious about this race as DeSantis chases the world record versus Caleb Dean. No, I think he on the straight it's even easy, right? I don't know what we'll get here from him for sure, but yeah. No, it was a great race from Zarnell. I was not surprised because if he's in good shape he will deliver, but he kept pulling away and he looked really strong. And yeah, I don't even know what kind of surface is this. Is this a Mondo surface on top of this thing here? But it's pretty good. All right, let's take a look at this. All right. The Santos is in the back here, but he's now coming down. He's taking down this guy. He didn't get out really good, but that's to be expected. He's eating up the straight here. He's eating this up. It's ridiculous. 21.85, a positive 1.5 from Alison dos Santos. In the end, looks like a training run, but Caleb Dean had a much better start than he did. Then he got into his running. I'm not sure if dos Santos is used to this kind of straight running. Yeah, he got left in the blocks. All of these guys got out, but he did enough to chase down Dean, and I'm not even sure who's that on his left hand side. Pretty good running there. 21.85. I've never seen this. Thanks all in the game. Mondo surface. It looks like a Mondo surface for sure. But I mean, the lines aren't that straight. It looks like they did a tape job on this for sure. But hey, I'm not gonna complain. All in the game is saying thought Jerim would look strong at the end. That's the thing I was thinking too. But maybe who knows what kind of training weeks he's had since the last Grand Slam. Maybe it's a tough week for them. He could have been a leggy week. Yeah. But 21.85 on the stretch with hurdles, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah. I like this. I should have gone to this event. I didn't have time, but I should have gone to this. So mindset. Yeah, I'm doing well. Just enjoying a little day of track and field. This Atlanta City Games here. Was watching it earlier. I think the standout performance so far is. I know you're joining me from the UK, so it would be Zarnell Hughes. Looked really good, 1955 in the 200 meters on a straight, above the legal limit, 2.2, but not much. So I think he would be more than happy with that performance. I think Glenn Mills would be happy with that. And, there's good competition to Wade Van Niekerk and Jeroen Richards, who is in really great form, as we know from the Grand Slam, but couldn't hang with him. And that's a shot there of Anna Hall, 683 in her first run of the long jump. But yeah, it was a good good run there. Let me get back to, I think I missed a comment from all in the game. Hope the Santos runs the 4x4 at Tokyo. Uh, you would think he should be able to do that. Yeah. What leg would you put him on? I think perhaps you have him on the third leg. I would think. I don't know what they'll do there, but yeah. Burks here, I'm getting a shot of her long jump earlier today as well. Not enough height when she got there, but 680, not bad. Not bad for. Oh, Vanzil, how you doing? Your boys a bunch of your guys running today, I would think. Ooh, Claire Bryant there jumping a 693. It's pretty good. That's good. And as you know, Bryant has been having a fabulous season so far. Great indoor for her. And yeah, that's good jumping. Yeah. South Africa has I think not Vanzil. Akini is running later on today, right? Sambina. Yeah. Mindset. I'm surprised Noah was not here for that 150. I think he's injured. Yesterday I saw a report saying that he was injured and he pulled out. I believe he's in Atlanta. I did see some pictures of him there. So he did show up for it. But I'm not sure if anybody has any clarity on what went wrong or in why he pulled out. I didn't see the reason for. I know I heard it's an injury, but I don't know if they detail what kind of injury he has. All in the game is saying. Let me put this up here. Jamaica have brought their bad world relays form with them to this meet. Why are you getting us started on this tonight? All in the game. I don't know, man. I don't want. it hurts. It hurts. I again, you know, in a way, if we were to dwell on this some more, and I've been reflecting on it. I know we did that live this week on it. Uh, I I still feel that while there is a fair amount of blame that you could put on athletes for, uh, you can't at the end of the day think about this without continuing to blame the administrators. And I still say it, who's the data person, who's tracking form. You have to have a calculation for who's in form. You have to have people working with coaches. You have to go show up and take a look for yourself if you're trying to pick the team. Because if they're not at their best at the moment you need them, then you don't need them then, and that's that kind of an interesting thing, but we'll see. uh Mindset is saying that was a great run from Zarnel. I can tell you the UK track enthusiasts here are beaming from ear to ear. No, I think I fit Zarnel Hughes great. I still like him better over the two, but I don't know. It depends on how we look at it. Uh, Finally got over that false starting issue, or at least you hope he has gotten over it. Well, he's found his way on a podium, so we can't say anything about that anymore. I think he's tremendously talented. We all know that, especially from high school days. And there's a small window, I think, for him to still do something. And you never know. I think you have to count him in the mix in terms of being competitive for a podium if he's fit and healthy. All in the Game is saying a missed opportunity by Adidas not to have Got running in one of the 100, 150, 200 meters. I would think so, but I wonder if I doubt it's not for a lack of trying. I remember coming off of the Australian season there, and I don't think Chris is on. He could confirm that they were saying that they wanted to take it back a little, dial it back a bit for Gout. He had done that Easter run, and he did a lot of running too for their championships, and they're trying to preserve him. So I'm not quite sure. Yeah. Oh no, Elias is on TV. What is he saying? Let me see if I can put on the subtitles. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, so Lyles is saying that he has some inflammation, nothing serious. At least that's what I caught at the last end there. And so he's probably just taking it on a precautionary level. Yeah. 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 So he said he has a tight ankle. My producer's just telling me because I missed the first part. He has a tight ankle, and because of his bias, he's not going to push it. Yeah, it would have been great to see Got here. Let me get back to a couple more comments. Ferdinand is saying all is well. To bless. I don't know what you say. Is Civil okay? I thought Oblique was supposed to be running, but I didn't. I saw him at the press conference, but he didn't run, or at least he wasn't listed in the 100 meters the 150 meters when I last checked. So I'm not quite sure. I'll check again in a second. How you doing, Sonia? Good to have you back as usual. Doreen, good afternoon to you as well. To Doreen A. All the great people are on the channel as usual. Yeah. Yeah. Let me see what all in the game is saying. Will be a straight up battle between Tamara Davis, Favour OFILI, and with Daryl Nita, who hasn't been at her best so far this year, looking to finish ahead. Now, this should be a really good run here. I think Asiro was on the channel yesterday, and he was saying that he was saying that he feels that Favour OFILI could break the 1609 Sherika Jackson did some years ago. Let's see if he's right. So it's a really good start here. Davis didn't look like she got out as clean as you want. That's Ashanti Moore. OFILI's She's making a move right here. She's stepping ahead and she's extending this lead on all of them right here. She's going to win by a few meters. 1585. That's a world record. If that's a legal win, that's a world record. Favour OFILI, I guess wherever Asira is, he knows that I did big him up on this. He predicted this yesterday. Look at that. She got out well. Davis got out as good, decent as well. I didn't see that angle. And she was extending this. Favour OFILI is looking really nice right now. That was a really good run from her. That's really good running there. Really good running. 1585 to 1614 to Tamara Davis, who I thought would have given her a better run. Ashanti Moore 1650, 1668. Oh, that's amazing running there. Amazing running. Let me get back to some of these comments here. No, I can't believe. I mean, I could believe the sub 16, but 1585 is. We need to run some more 150s for sure. I think I kind of like this event in a park. Yeah. Mindset civil isn't well. At least that's what I heard. Okay. Hopefully it's not a. Hopefully it's ill as opposed to something else. Oh, Vanzil says civil pull up in the 100 did not make a final. Okay. I didn't see that at all. All in the game destroyed it in response to Ofili. Nigeria stand up for sure and ran through the line as well. I don't know what happened to Nita rather. She did not start, right? I don't know. I'm not quite sure what's happening there. Look at that. Running well. The left arm of Favour is going a little bit too wide, but that's something that you could fix. She seems extremely elated. Yeah, it's a good run there. Really good run. Sup, everyone. Thank you for joining. Hopefully you're enjoying Saturday track and field meet. There's some other stuff happening later on, and then later tonight, I think I'm going to sleep and get up for that. I don't know for sure. Maybe I'll just wait until Sunday morning. There's a continental tour in Japan. Should be good. There's going to be Shakari there, Kristen Coleman, I think, Andre de Grasse. The javelin should be on fire because I think Kitaguchi will be there. Van Dyke from South Africa. The woman from what's her name, Hurtado. So I think a bunch of medalists should be there for the javelin. I know some people aren't big field events enthusiasts, but you should be. You should be. Let me get back some results here. All in the game quickly says Favour will be on both 100/200 finals in Tokyo, like she should have been in Paris last year, but wasn't close. But wasn't because of terrible Nigeria sports administration. Yeah, we can't forget that. And anytime, yeah, travesty. One thing. Here's the thing. Here's one thing about all of this. The administrations of countries need to be on point. You cannot make mistakes like that. You know, we saw that with Favour. We saw the Jamaican nonsense too with what's the woman Clunas didn't make the team. You can't have side things going on. You have to have checks and balances because the athletes to represent a country, they are focused on being at their best, and then you do nonsense. So yeah. Thanks, Sonia. Civil, he was experiencing some discomfort, so it's slowed down. This is not good. Yeah, it's certainly not good. Hopefully, it's nothing too serious. I suspect that might mean, yeah, I don't know. You never like to see athletes having injury. Oh boy, yeah. But it's part of the sport, and hopefully it's something that you can get him back. It wouldn't derail the season in terms of long-term time away. because I think oblique. We've said it before. He's missed out on a bunch of podiums. I would say maybe the first one I'll give him. The first couple of years, you probably give him a time to adjust. But he, at some point, he has to deliver, and I know he knows this. So we'll see. All in game, always interesting how one coach Shaver can work for one athlete Ofili, but not for another Liston. It's interesting, and Dennis is a great coach, right? Dennis, not quite sure. The Brianna Liston thing is interesting. Lots of niggles, and I would say if we look at all those girls that came out of Heidel over the last few years or out of Jamaica, I would put Liston talent above a lot of them. I think Liston has more talent than the Clayton twins. People might be over the both distances in terms of a pure like two times, maybe on the sprint, maybe Karika Hill has a lot of talent too, but I don't know. But just straight talent, Liston all the way for me, and I would hope that I hope she finds her way, because nothing is given to you, but I think in the right system, the right coach, the right monitoring, Brianna Liston should be an athlete that should challenge for global medals. And not only challenge, definitely the talent to win them. And I hope things work out. She call it quits at LSU and taking it pro, so we'll see. All in the game, he agrees with me on that. Thank you for saying that. And mindset is saying Brianna is the most naturally talented as well. Yeah. All right, let's take this. Oh, there's a false start here on the men's 100 meter. And that looks like Golson in lane 1. He's done. It's a clear false start. He's gone even before the. It's not even a reaction time false start here. The Golson kid too is also. He's been disqualified. He's also an interesting kid in the sense that hasn't returned back to that speed that we saw a few years ago. He suffered. I think he had some injury problems too, but he's another one that's capable of. He should be consistently a 9-8 guy, I think, or into the 9-9s. All in the game is liking this Adidas kit. It's actually good, Yeah. All right, let's take a look at this. I think so. It's gonna be Sambini, DeAndre Daly's there as well. It's a really good start there. I don't like this angle. I can't. Simbin is just like moving away from these guys. He's like tearing down the track. Flash time 987. I think it's corrected to 986. Above the legal limit. Oh, it's 2.3. A little bit over the legal. Really good running there from Akini Sambini. That form that he's been showing all season is still there. Oh, that's a good running there. He's like eating up the track here. And the rest of the guys aren't anywhere close to his level right now. Good to see DeAndre Jaley there, but he's not lifting his legs at all. I want to see I want to see a replay, but if they show us one. 986 for Akini Simbini. he's having a wonderful season. At some point, he has to. At some point, he has to call it. You know. So Brian, I think you can watch it. You're not in. You're in Barbados, right? I don't. They were showing it live on the Adidas stream, I believe. I don't know if it's global. If you're in the states, it's on NBC and on Peacock, their platform. I'm not quite sure if you could still watch it. It might in outside of the country on another platform. I'm not sure. All in the game maintains his unbeaten 100. Yeah, Akini Simbini is the man to beat so far this year. He's not a young guy anymore, and he's been running a lot, indoors, outdoors. At some point, he needs a break. Yeah. Van Zyl says, yes, Simbini head and shoulders above the rest. Yeah, that was a walk in the park for him. The start wasn't particularly great from what I can gather, but those guys aren't in his class right now. Yeah. All in the game is saying that's adjusted to like 987 at a positive 2. Yeah, I mean, there's really good running from him. Really good running. Oh, Furlani's here. I didn't even realize this. 822 in a second jump. I think Furlan is the future a long jump for sure. But Kier McLeod is here. Oh, big jump there from McLeod. It's a big jump there. 833, 828, 822. All in the game is saying some of the most naturally gifted talents seem to be injury prone. Think when you think of Elaine, Liston, Kishane, it's unfortunate. Mm, yeah, I guess I don't know if we can make a correlation with that. I don't know. I don't think there's any as the circumstances are just different, I imagine. But I get it. I think a lot of athletes get injured a lot, right? And for varying reasons. Yeah. And I'm not quite sure anyone out there runs injury free, right? There's always niggles, pains, discomfort. It's when it starts impacting the training, and obviously it gets worse when you can't do much. Yeah. I guess they're showing some long jump again from Bryant and Anna Hall before. I think we saw those jumps before on the stream. Hmm. All in the game. Tamara Davis, 16-14, was comfortable under the previous world record by Shawnee. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. You mean on the straight, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Shawnee had the 16-23 on the straight. Jackson had what? 1609 on a bend, right, in Brussels. And then there's a bend for Flojo at 1610 as well, right? Yeah. If you kind of count it on the bend. Yeah, yeah. But for straight, for sure. Yeah, yeah. All right. Now, this is going to be the race of the race, guys. As usual, the, the toughest event in all of sport, the women's 100-meter hurdles. Crazy, crazy running. Grace Stark having a fabulous season this so far. Probably should have won both Diamond Leagues until she clipped at the end there, and Daniel Williams pipped her in the was it in Shanghai or Xiamen? No, but then Tia Jones here coming fresh off of her very close to breaking the world record with Masai Russell in a couple of Grand Slams recently. Yeah, yeah, thanks. And former world record holder here, Kenny Harrison. I mean, I just feel like if you were to run a meet at the same time on a weekend and you only ran 100-meter hurdles, you could run 5, maybe 4 meets and still have world-class talent. And that's how good it is. Where's Toby Amazon? I thought she was going to run. There's Megan Tapper there. Anybody knows why Tia Jones turned her back to the camera? I have no idea. All right, let's check this out for a minute. I'll get back to the comments in a second. Yeah, I'm like, where's Toby Amazon? I saw her earlier. Well, she was doing an interview yesterday too. It's really a clean start here. It looks like Jones first to the hurdle, but she clipped. Stark is hurdling very well too. Kenny Harrison looks like she might be in the lead. And it's going to be Harrison. Ooh. It looks like Kenny. Kenny ahead of Tia Jones and Stark from my look. Yeah, confirm here. 12:30, 12:36, 12:36, 12:68 for Vessa. And Megan Tapper 12:93. I'm not sure what happened to Megan there. Above the legal win, but just above. Stark was doing some nice hurdling there. I'm telling you, our technique has been improving, keeping low, but Kenny looked really nice there. Let's see. Early on, Tia hit the first hurdle, I think. I think that threw her off somewhat. All in the game. Kenny reminds everyone she's still here. Certainly she's still here. You know what would be wild if Kenny was to pop up in Tokyo and win the gold medal. Yeah, it would be. And I mean, you couldn't count against it. I mean, it's just like the hurdles are just so competitive. I don't care what happens. You can't call it on any night. I usually used to say you can call Camacho Queen for a medal no matter what, but that might be changing soon too. Yeah, and I don't know where Akira is. I'm not sure if was she scheduled to run. I didn't see her initially on anything. Yeah. It's a good run there from Kenny. She would be happy with this. Ooh, and she hit the last hurdle too. We need to see this race again. I'm not sure what happened to Megan, because Megan looked good couple weeks ago. Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't watch the semifinal round. Oh, so Akira and Demisha didn't make it out of. Thanks for saying that all in the game. I didn't realize that the streaming. I only picked up on the stream maybe a half an hour before. I totally didn't realize it was being streamed on Adidas until late. So I missed a bunch of races. I was thinking about Megan Tappa as I saw her here. I mean, first she has to make the Jamaica team, but you hope like this time, starting this year, right? There's no in the sprints you'll go through on top 3, right? So you don't have to mess around with the fastest person, right? Yeah. Yeah, I should have had that notification too. I guess I didn't get it. I think YouTube messes with the notification because sometimes people don't get my notification, so I don't know how to do it. Yeah. All right. Is there a stream later for that Jamaica All Comers meet? Because I understand Sharika Jackson's running. There's also Kishane Thompson. I don't know if there's a stream for that. If anyone has that, I'll happily take it as well. So up next on the track, we should get the men's 110 hurdles, and we're going to see Trey Cunningham. He's been having a fabulous season so far. PB at 13 flat, Freddie Crittenden also running well this year too. He has a 13:09. You know, I think he should be good. Orlando Bennett from Jamaica there. And then I haven't seen anything from Dickerson or even I can't even remember seeing a race with Robert Dunning. Maybe I did, but can't remember. Jackie Joyner cursor on screen. Jackie. Let's see where we are. Did I miss something? Maybe I missed a couple comments here. All in the game is well, first, Nugent dropped out in the first round. Kenny looked good in both rounds. Thanks, Frenzel. All in the game. Yeah, top 3 from semi goes through 9 lane track in Tokyo. Yeah, I like that move. I think that move is really it's a fairer move. You know the position you get in. Because the time thing is negligible too, especially when you think you could have, especially in the sprint. You run into a headwind, it could turn into a tailwind, and all sort of stuff happens. We've always solved this stuff in the distances. Now I think it's much better now for the sprint. Brian says, "Kenny, like you, don't forget about me." That's good. A good point. All in the game agrees. Free range brain says, it's interesting name too. Noah 1399. I don't- I'm not quite sure what for what. He's not running today. This is the Miami run that they're showing on TV from Trey Cunningham. Running much better, holding off Sasha Zoya there. That was a good race a couple of Sundays ago. Brian is saying Jackson has to get back to old ways and hit the circuit to run herself into form. Interesting. We have to see, right? I suspect she's injury free right now. I think I was trying to think about this recently. Sometimes when an athlete comes back from injury, especially a long term one or one that kept them out for a while, like ended the season last year, even when they're fit and ready, psychologically sometimes it takes a while because it plays on your mind. It takes a while to start running free. So let's give it some more time and hopefully she'll be fine. All right. They're off to a clean start here. And Trey Cunningham is in the lead. Can we get a side angle, please? Looks like Crittenden is coming, but Cunningham is going to win this comfortably. 13:17 is the flash time, it looks like. I feel like these TV people don't appreciate that a front-on run is not a good angle for people on television. Comfortable here. It's a good start from Cunningham. Bennett had a decent start too, but not as good as Trey. And Trey is like running, not as efficient over the last few hurdles as you'd like to be, but held his form, moved away from Freddie. Looks clean from this angle. Middling the track. That's what you like to see. Having a good season, Cunningham, that is. All in the game. So much track and field this weekend. Have the Tokyo meet and the NCAA conference meets all going on this weekend. Yeah, I saw that Miller kid too running a nice time in the Big Ten championships. I I tried to spot him train some weeks ago, but I didn't get a chance. Yeah, I should have gone to look at him. But yeah, there's so much stuff happening in NCAs that I can't even keep up with. I did see I saw a little collision there with Rosie Effian. I was impressed by that 200-meter run from Chiramba. Yeah, it's interesting times. And then yeah, the Japan stuff, I'm really intrigued to see that event. I'm gonna try and stay up and watch some of it or watch it. Then tomorrow we'll have a live. We'll come back and try to think about all of that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. All in the game. US gets 4 spots in the 110 as well. Yeah, that's true, as well as the 100, 200. And yeah, that's good for them. It's also good for Cordell Tinsha, I'd imagine. Yeah. You wouldn't be surprised if, like last time, times at the US Championships would medal in the Olympics or at the World Championships in this case, and they didn't get on. Would not be surprised. Yeah. I don't know how many people are staying up, or it might be early morning for you or afternoon wherever you are in the world. But the the Japan meet is going to be fire. I think it's going to be a good meet. I want to see what you get from. I mean, especially intrigued to see what we get from Andre DeGrasse. It's hard to judge him from that relay, but he looks okay. We'll get a better sense, but it should be good. It's going to be a good meet. I think for a continental tour, they have some good stars showing up, and you can't complain about that. The high jump should be good. Yaroslava is there, Manuchuk, and as I mentioned earlier, the javelin is going to be fire. I think I don't know what shape Kitaguchi is in. She didn't win recently in the Diamond League, but she's on home soil, and they're bringing medalists. The South African athlete, the Colombian, Australia has athlete. Mackenzie Little also is going, so should be good. Should be good. And I guess the world is waiting to see Shakari. Can't complain about that. Want to see where she is. TT Terry's there too, right? So I think it's gonna be a good meet. Yeah. Let me get back to the comment section. All in the game is saying Grant, Cordell, Trey, Crittenden would be one hell of a team. Yeah, it's gonna be fire. I think men's 110-meter hurdles really good stuff. Then you kind of throw in, can Sasha Joya step up by the time you get to the World Championship? Broad Bell for Jamaica. I don't know. I mean, there's a bunch of other guys that we could think about too. The Japanese guys are going to be on home soil as well. They may be coming good. Murtaki, Simonelli. I don't know. I mean, I like it. I'm probably missing names right now. Hurdles in a good space. Very good space. How are you doing, Shamar John? Good afternoon to you. What's up? It's the Atlanta City game is what we're focusing on right now. It's been interesting so far. Yeah. All in the game. Only 5K if you win at the World Athletics Continental Tour goal meet. Need to seriously increase the prize money. I agree on that too. I wonder what the television or sponsorship rights on that is. Yeah. 5 grand is not a lot of money. I can only imagine, to be honest with you, that the appearance fee for Shakari at this meet is a lot. I don't know. it should be a full house in Japan as well. They love their sports over there too. So yeah, but that needs to up. Likewise, like the Diamond League raised the fees on a few of the events. There's a couple Diamond League events this year that went at the 20K. Not everyone, but yeah. The prize money in track and field is still relatively low. But and I think if you're a superstar athlete or top tier athlete, you also negotiate your appearance fee, which is never. This is always privileged information, so we never know what's happening there. But they need to figure that out. Yeah. Shamar John said, "So excited to see what's happening here. All in the game. They should get rid of appearance fee and roll it into the prize money pool." That's a very interesting move you're saying here. Let me think about this. One, I think that's not on balance. That's not necessarily a bad idea. The only objection to that, though, all in the game, is when meet directors plan a meet, they tend to sell names, right? They tend to sell stars. They can in the promotion in itself to they need to showcase that they're bringing high level talent. And I wonder if you're a star, especially if the meets are in certain places and they don't come with all the prestige, whether that might be a disincentive. I'm just thinking here. I'm riffing on this, but not having thought about it clearly. But that's one. There's some meets in the calendar that's always are highly ranked, really prestigious meets. You think about the Zurich meet, you think about the Monaco meet. People like going there just because of the status of symbols as well. Prefontaine, you can name a few stuff across the board, but I don't know if I'm against that idea. That could be an interesting idea to get rid of the appearance fees because you could line up in a race and someone just got like a $500,000 just to walk to show up or 100K to show up outside of the race. But let me watch this and we'll get back to this. I'm intrigued to see. I just saw Mackenzie Long on screen there. I want to see what we get from these women. Gina Lucan Kemper there too, having a good season last year, going sub 10. I don't know what we'll get from her this year. Mackenzie Long, a woman rather, apologies, with a lot of talent. There's see what we get from Sturgis here, Barnes in the race, and the Canadian Leduc as well. Not quite sure what to expect here, but we'll see. No, Noah is not running. He pulled out of the meet with an injury. I think he has some ankle mobility things or stiffness, and he wants it. It's a precautionary measure. All in the game is saying, but the stars still need to compete against others. That's a good point. They don't run races alone. I just want more transparency. I agree. I guess that's part of the Michael Johnson and the Grand Slam move, except then they don't tell us what the signing bonus is to tag on to the Grand Slam track. And you have to believe they're paying Sidney McLaughlin more than they're paying Alison DeSantis. You have to think, but we'll see. All right, it's a good start here for Leduc, but Mackenzie Long is getting into our running. And it's looked like Sturgis may have pipped it at the line there. Got to see a side on Hangle. Couple of women on the ground here on their knees. Looks like they ran into that podium. Maybe the heat. Did they crash into each other? Long was running, didn't dip as well as she should, but Sturgis had a really nice dip there at the line. Oh my God. I saw it. The wall there, the padding on that is not the kind of padding you see in the World Indoor. Okay, yeah. So there, Mackenzie and Barnes kind of touch each other, and then Mackenzie ran straight into that and got nose popped right there. So 1098, 1098. So Sturgis and Long getting 1098. I got to look at the results to see the breakdown there. What's the separation? Okay, so it's 1098. So it's like 10.974 to 10.98. So just like 4 thousandths of a second there. No, six rather. I apologize. Six. And it's a 1.2 win. So legal there. So Sturgis having a good run. Also Mackenzie Long as well, who I have a lot of time for. I hope she'll move from she'll run much quicker as the season progresses as well. Not a bad run. Let me get back to some of the comments here. I missed a few. Yeah, I think no Noah. Battle was meant to be running this race. Battle has had a good season so far, right? At Diamond League. Interesting. All in the game. What on earth? Not all in the game. Brian is saying, what on earth has happened to Canberra Sturgis from her college days? That's more like it. You know, good point. Couple things. When athletes leave college, the biggest obstacle, and I think it's the same when you try to leave high school straight to professional ranks. Number one is that transition is never easy. When you're in college, there's a lot of structure around you. You're in a program. You may not like everything about the arrangement, but you you don't think about the medical. You don't think about who's coaching you. You work within a system, and once you leave that setup, the onus is on you. You have to have a coach. You have to hire a coach. You need to pay for the medical stuff. You need to have management. And assuming you don't have all of those things in place, it, sometimes the transition can get derailed. So I often don't necessarily. Yeah, I wonder sometimes. You have to give them time. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, and hopefully it works. Yeah. All in the game. Sturgis got it, I think, but in the wilderness too long doing the NCAA in 22. Yeah, that's a while now. That's what, 3 years. I don't know what happened in turn. I don't know if she had any injuries, but I think sometimes that transition is not as easy as people think, especially in a sport where you're just an individual entity, right? You're not working in a team-based environment, and if you're not in the right setup, it can be challenging. Yeah. Brian agreeing with all in the game here. All right. So I think next on the track will be the 150 meters, and Matthew Bowling is in the race. Amanyala, Oganda, Terrence Jones, the Bahamian there. Hopefully, he has a great season. And Traore from Cote d'Ivoire or the Ivory Coast. So that's going to be the last they're going to show on NBC. I think that's the last of the serious stuff. After that's a bunch. There's some youth events afterwards, and yeah, that might conclude the coverage for them for sure. They had to scratch the women's 200 hurdles. Unfortunately, not a lot of people showed up for that. That's a bit unfortunate. Let's see where we are. BT Media. What channel can we watch? If you are in the United States, then you watch it on NBC, on terrestrial TV, or on their streaming platform, Peacock. It was on the Adidas YouTube channel. I'm not quite sure if they're still streaming on the Adidas YouTube channel, and maybe it's geo it's based on your location. So try the Adidas thing, BT, and see if it's there. All in the game. It was 20. 21. It's been 4 years. Wow. Yeah. It's been a while. Brian Jefferson's doing now doing what you expected from Sturgis. Yeah, she's doing a very yeah, she's transitioned very well, but she also has good setup. Ofili world record. Wow. Yeah, it was a really good run from Favour. I think she's going to be running this season with a serious chip on her shoulder. Eh, All in the game, 10.98 for Cambria, third fastest time. Eva Mackenzie's fourth fastest time. Yeah, that's some good running there from them. And yeah. Give me a second. We'll put up the result. I can ask my producer put up the result for the one for the Favour Ophelia run there. I'm gonna watch this 100 meter right now. False start. Not quite sure who false started there. So recall gun. Thanks all in the game. Yeah, I totally forgot already. But maybe we can show them. I get the result. So that was the result there. 1585. Tamara Davis 1614. All fabulous times from both of them. Not quite sure who false started, so I suspect it has to be Oganda is gone. So I don't know what the reaction time is, but it's probably quicker than 100 milliseconds for sure. Otherwise, you would be still running. I don't know if we can determine that with a naked eye, but let's see. So Oganda is gone, so only 4 men remaining here. Jones, I want to see what he can do. Traore, Amaniala, and Matthew Bolin, who is kind of versatile athlete, and I'm not quite sure where he is right now in terms of what he should focus on and so on. Paneshe says, I really want Ophelia to put it together and beat these tricks. She's one of the fastest juniors ever over 200, though our time was at altitude assisted. She's very talented. I think it's a very competitive space, but she has all the chops to make finals. A really good start from Omanyala there, but he's getting chased down. Cherish Jones is moving, but Omanyala is stepping into another gear and he's going to take this very comfortable. Ferdinand Omanyala is going to run away with this. 1472, a legal win. 1470 corrected. 1493. Oh, that's really good running there from Omanyala. Really good running from Ferdinand. I mean, it gets him into maybe top 5 of all time, I think. But that's good running for him. And Terrence Jones 1493, Matthew Bowling 1515, and unfortunate for Traore, I didn't see what happened. He didn't finish the race, and as we saw, Oganda got disqualified. I'm gonna get back to. I want to get back to some comments here. Let me try to see if I can see them much more clearly here. Maybe that's not a good idea. All right, let me see what I missed from here. All in the game was saying Ophelia was devastated when she came sixth last year in the Olympic 200 meter. Video of her crying was hard to watch. She has the talent to medal. She had the yeah. I think so. I think she's really talented. We'll see what happens this year. All in the game bowling should be long jump, especially how weak the US long jump is. I agree on that right now. I think he's lost his way. I think it's a challenging. I don't know if maybe he hasn't lost his way. That's probably a harsh statement for me to make. I think, I guess when you can run all the way from 1 to 4 and also do the field events, it's hard to pick. It's not good enough to be a multi-eventer, I don't think, or nor does he want to do the kind of work for that. It's a challenge. I can't see he will never make a 1 or 2 team for the United States in the anytime in the immediate future, and he's definitely not good enough at 400 either. So right now, to make a world team, the long jump seems like a interesting space. He can be in the mix for like mixed relays, obviously, and maybe he could even be in the pool for 4x4. I don't think they'll use him or need to use him, but some challenging things for him. I would imagine he would have to make some hard choices on what he eventually does, but I would think, yeah, I wouldn't be against that idea of sticking to the long jump. Yeah. That women's 200 was weird in Paris. The semis, the heats, everything. Yeah, one of those things. Yeah. Charlie Lawrence says, "Who won the 100 meters?" Let's get that back up on the screen if we can for you in a second. And you meant the women or the? Oh, you said men. I'm sorry. Simbini did. We'll get it on the screen for you so you can see all the details. Akini Simbini really looked good. Class of the field. Those other guys weren't in his class. Above the legal limit, but it's still pretty fast. It's still probably a 9. It's still probably sub 9.9, depending on give and take how you do those calculators. He's been having a fabulous season. I can't imagine. I think, yeah, at this stage, Akini Simbini is saying he's going to be on the podium in Tokyo. It's very early to make that call, but he has to be in the mix for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks all in the game for pointing that out too. Yeah, this has been a good track and field meet. Interesting stuff there. Lots, as we say, happening this week. Later on, I'll try to find a stream and watch whatever is going to happen in Jamaica. I think there's some stuff there. All in the game is saying 997 at 0 win, 987 at +2. So in that range, he's still solidly on the sub 10. And it's just a continuation of how well his season has been going. Can't complain about it. Really like what we see from Akini Sambini. A very nice dude. You look at him and you forget how long he's been running. He's been running for a very long time, running consistently fast for a long period of time too. And it's just about whether he can pick up an individual medal. It's going to be challenging. Is he capable? Yes. We'll see. He's also coming into a period where South Africa has a good quartet of guys that can deliver on a 4x1. They've done it before. So there's medals to be had there as long as you don't have any baton exchanges and issues with that or injuries. So Simbini, South Africa, I think their track and field is in good shape right now. We'll wait to see what happens as the season progresses, but like the kid, I think I saw there was a clip on social media I ran across when going back to the Olympics in Rio when Wade broke the world record. Is that Usain Bolt was in the call room, Simbini was right there along with Blake and others. So he's been around for a long time. Yeah. All in the game is saying, imagine a 100 meter / 4x1 double for Aki. I mean, national hero status in South Africa. I don't know how they give those out, but it would be up there. Ferdinand might be able to tell us how you get big medals in South Africa. But that would be a fabulous achievement. Can you write it off? No. Is it very possible? I think so. It's very hard to know what will happen from now on until you get to the World Championships, but that would be outrageously good. Yeah. Still think that the US, if they get it right, should win the 4x1. They have to start favorites. Imagine a fit Kristen Coleman on lead off. Got Kung Fu Kenny. If Noah is in form, I mean, yeah. Fred Curley. You would think that those guys should start favorite all day and twice on Sundays. You would imagine that a Jamaica team, and I can't believe we're discussing that they're not at the World Championships. Hopefully they make it. If those guys are also in form, that should be a really, really good team on paper. You're looking at Thompson. You're looking at if Oblique Seville can get back to his form, Akeem Blake. Those are three guys that are 9'8", 9'7". One is a 9'7" guy. You work it out well. They should be competing for a gold medal. It's utterly disgraceful that they're not at the World Championships at this present moment. Charlie Lawrence, we already consider Akini a national hero. That's good. He's inspired the golden generation along with Wade. Very, very good. Yeah, I think he represents your South Africa very well. And what can we say? I like what I'm seeing from South Africa. I'm waiting to see what Prudence can do this year as well. I think she might do something special over 800 meters. The space in the 800 meters is interesting. Keely is currently injured. I think she's back. Is she running this weekend too? I think she might be running. I'm not quite sure. Mary Mora still. I don't know what Athin is doing. I think Athin just entered some weird race the other day as well. Who knows what's going on over there? So interesting times ahead. Shamaria, what happened to my favorite athlete, Elaine? Where do we start? I don't know. I think we'll wait to see. She's training in Florida, right? She's at what should be a good setup. I just don't want to get into that part. But we'll see. We shall see. All in the game. Hope to see Wade on South Africa's 4x4 in Tokyo. I hope so too. Like you and many, I thought he had gotten back to getting very close to a sub 44 again. I don't know. Van Niekerk gave us one of the greatest performances you'll ever see. He's obviously had injuries, and injuries can derail an athlete in interesting ways. It would be good to see him back on that, running a fabulous leg. The 400 meter for men also is a really competitive space right now. I like what I'm seeing, a lot more athletes being capable of going sub 44. And you could run 44 nines, you could run 43 nines and not get on a podium, and that's only good for the sport. Yeah, it would be a good way for Wade to end off his career. I don't know when he's gonna call it quits. Presumably, I don't think he will find his way at the next Olympics. That might be a stretch, but there's a world championship this time, and yeah. Richard Dunkley, thank you for much of your program. The Adidas YouTube channel left me high and dry and without coverage here in Switzerland when NBC started the broadcast. Appreciate you saying that. Switzerland, very nice. I love Switzerland. Uh, I like Zurich. I got to come back to Switzerland. It's expensive, $15 coffees, but if you ever in Zurich, I'm telling not you, but anybody, check out the FIFA museum. I was in the FIFA museum when I had to rush back to get on a flight, and I'm trying to tell this guy. I don't know why I'm telling this story. So my wife and I were there. We go to the FIFA thing, and this guy is like, "You have to watch the end of this thing," and I'm like, "Look, I have to catch a flight to Chicago," and he's like, "No, no, no, I'll get you out." And so just tell me when. So we go into this room at the end of this tour, and we start to watch, and I'm like, I gotta go because I'm gonna miss this flight if we don't get to the airport. And he's like, I'm gonna get you through special elevators, and he takes me through the elevators that like the FIFA president and those guys would use, so we could get out of the place quickly and get on a train. But yeah, really good place. It's a very nice place. All in the game. Where's Ryan Norman? Rye, I don't know. I see Rye doing podcasts. I don't actually haven't watched all of that. Norman, someone asked about Norman last night on the live All in the Game, and I said I went a bit too far by saying this, and I don't know. The last time I saw uh, Mike Norman was at Penn Relays this year. He was handing out stuff on behalf of Toyota, so he's still functioning as an athlete. It seems he's his sponsorship deals still. And I went far, and I think I don't want to repeat it today. I guess I will, but since I said it's out in the internet, I just don't get the impression that Mike Norman really wants to be a track and field athlete, right? I just don't know if he loves the sport enough. That's my impression. I don't know the guy. I don't want to go down that. And it's hard to, I think it's maybe an embarrassment of me to even utter those words because you can't judge people's commitment to anything when you don't know the situation. But we still go back, and I know you would remember obviously that 400 with Fred that in the NCAs many years ago when he made that shift recently and decided that to run 100 meters and then change his mind again. I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but that's a talented athlete that is not delivering at the highest level that we would want. And so I don't know. Yeah. All in the game. Beautiful place, Switzerland, but expensive, very expensive, very expensive. Sure. Hope to see the Santos on a 4x4 one day. Hopefully, I mean, Brazil has a team. So let's see. Uh, Objectivity, what's going on. It's a pity that injuries has probably derailed potentially some of the greatest athletes ever career. Shake my head. I think it's part of sport. Part of sport is always there's avoidable injuries and then injuries that you can't avoid sometimes, and managing the injuries. Sometimes a bit of luck too. Some athletes get injured. I think every athlete has something. It's just whether it impacts training, whether it impacts ultimately their performance when it gets to the major competitions. You got to be lucky sometimes too. But you create luck too, in terms of your preparation and your surroundings and attention to the detail. It matters. But yes, we've seen a bunch of athletes that never have the career that you want them to have or never even get to have a career. And it's unfortunate, but that's how it goes. Yeah. All in the game is agreeing with Shamar. Agree Brazil has a good 4x4 men. Want to see the Santos in Tokyo. I agree to he should be on it. All in the game. Possible for South Africa to get goal in the 4x1. Akina can medal. Don't write us off in the 4x4. 800 meters, javelin. Yeah, javelin for sure. Van Dijk is really good. Uh, on the women's side for sure. Yeah. Who's coaching Walaza Ferdinand? They need to get on that really quickly. I think I don't know what his ceiling is, if I'm being honest with you. I don't know if he's eventually can be like a 9-7 guy, probably not, but I think he could be a 9-8 guy consistently and 9-9 guy. But they have to iron out that running form. It's bad. We saw it when he was a junior, and he's looking a little bit better, but what they're doing there, they have to stop the program and fix that because that he ultimately will cost them. All in the game. 4x4 will be great. Will be great. USA, Botswana, GB, South Africa. Yeah, Botswana finally. Yeah, got a lot of great guys there. You got a Let's See Litiboga in the mix too. Endori, Kiben. What's the guy? The other guy too. Yeah, it's really good team there. All Ferdinand saying Wade has his heart in the 200, maybe 4x4 rounds. He needs to put back his heart in the 400 meters. It's his thing. I also think he's less likely for injury too if he runs the 400. The training load is harder. He's gonna vomit a lot, but they're used to it. I don't know. We'll see. Back in South Africa training. What is wrong with Kambunji? I don't know. Yes, she didn't look good yesterday in Doha. But we've seen Munjinga from time to time look horrible in one race and then come back and look good. Yeah, I've been following her on social media, and training seemed to be okay all leading up. I don't know. Her sister is looking good as well. Maybe it was a hard week for her. Maybe she felt something. I still haven't checked to see if there was a post race interview with her, but 11.4 is definitely not her level. Probably felt something in the race and didn't want to push it. That's my speculation. If anyone saw an interview, then we could definitely unpack that. I'm not quite sure what happened to her. Yeah, she's getting up to a point too where maybe the end is coming to. I don't know. Yeah, it might be coming increasingly harder to make finals. She's always been consistent in trying to get into the world finals, major finals, and her sister is really talented, super duper talented, but also in a space where the hurdles are just so competitive that you'll run 12.3 and may not make a final this year. It's possible, you know. Yeah. All in the end, Kambunja was terrible most of last year and still made the Olympic final. Yeah, that's the point I was making too. She'll show up when it matters too. There's a steely determination there. They usually get it right when it matters. And when you think about Munjinga and the Taja too, they're well taken care of when you think about the sponsorship level, the type of stuff they do in Switzerland, and they can also run sparingly too if they want, right? They do a lot of commercial work, good watch brands, good. They're well, and they have other interests outside the track too. It's a long line of sisters too, so we'll see. Kambunji got a decent start, but then backed off according to objectivity there. It looks that way. Maybe she felt something. I haven't seen an interview. All in the game. Where's Talu? Someone asked about Talu too. I don't know. I have no idea. Good question. Objective. Where's Brianna Williams? We saw her earlier this season, but I haven't seen much from her recently too. I'm just banking. I'm like just banking that John Smith says this is my project. He does not. Who does he have to coach? Right? There's not a lot of people with him, right? I haven't checked his roster recently, but it doesn't strike me like there's a lot of people there. So you could imagine that it should be a project for him, right? I hope he gets it right with Brianna because I think she's talented. I don't know what her ceiling is. Some people might have suggested that her ceiling, she hit some of that ceiling as a junior athlete. It's possible. There's no guarantees that you would move from 11 flats to 10 nines and move down, but I still think there's an athlete there that should be running consistently sub 11s and getting into the 10.8s and being and contributing to relay pool teams and making the odd team as well. So I don't know. Yeah. All in the game. So many missing so many missing Jamaican athletes. Elaine, Kivona. Oh yeah, Kivona, yeah. Ah, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of athletes. Didn't Brumfield retire? Or are you talking or is it we're talking about a different Janelle? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. This week we'll get a sense of what's going on. Well, this month, next month, not sure what's going on with all these athletes here. Ah, so he's the coach since while I was young. Yeah, there's some. I mean, there's ice to see on how there's. I don't know what that kind of jumping is he's doing when he runs. It's not ideal for sprinting. And it's not like the Michael Johnson thing where he looked interesting. You know, the Clyde Hart explanation of Michael Johnson's running style was he wasn't losing any efficiency, so why change it? This kid, I think it's a different thing. Yeah, yeah. But we'll see. Well, guys, it's been great. Lots some more track and field. I'm gonna go watch some other stuff, hopefully, and we'll try to be back tomorrow for a wrap up. Yeah, all in the game is calling it the Wallaza Gallop. Yeah, I don't know what to call it. That's an interesting. I like that framing. I'm gonna steal it. If you hear me saying it, I'll try to credit you at some point. I'll forget that you said it. So, and then and take it as my own. But uh, yeah, later on tonight for sure, the Continental Tour continues. I'll see what we get. There's some stuff in Jamaica happening as well. I want to see that. Banzil is saying, LOL, I wish I could chase Wade around the track myself with a bicycle. Yeah, yeah. Get him to run the 400, stop the silliness. But we know how hard it is. And an athlete has to want to run an event. If they don't want to run it, then it makes no sense, because they won't do the work. And especially at this level, you get exposed quickly when you don't do the work. And if you have injuries that prevent you from doing the work, it's a problem. So, and at some point, there's a bunch of athletes that are coming through the space that idolize the guy, right? They look up at him. He's the standard he's running, his time is the standard. I wish I wish he didn't have the career, because I think he would have had a career that we could easily say that at the end of it, he would have been better than Michael Johnson. I still think MJ is the best 400-meter athlete ever when you think about the body of work, the dominance for so long, the consistently low 43 times as well. So Wade had that in him, and I don't know. Objective, what's happening in Jamaica today? Track meet. Yeah, I think there's an all-comers meet apparently at the National Stadium East track. That's what someone told me. I don't know if there's a stream for it. I'll go searching at some point. Yeah. All in the game is saying he would have run sub 43 world record and more 400 goals for sure. I think so. Wade would have gone sub 43 for sure. And the injury started with what? Was it a football thing he did, or was it a car accident? No, I can't remember. And then it just never came back. And then we saw him again. Stephen Gardner too. I don't think Gardner was ever gonna get down to close to the world record, but when he's in form, when he's running well, I think he was unbeatable. Is at the stage where I think Gardner might not be able to. I don't think he can train the way he used to. But I think he's still good enough if he gets it going that he'll be competitive for a global title. Yeah. Touch rugby accident. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I hate it. But it's one of those things. It happens. All right, guys, I'm gonna bounce. Hopefully, you guys have a great rest of your day. We'll be back tomorrow to wrap up the weekend. Let's see what happens tonight in the Continental Tour and other things, and enjoy the rest of the afternoon. And it's all as always, it's a pleasure having you on the channel, and thanks for supporting. And we'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.